There's that. How do I? There we go.
Just like an entertainer.
All right, we'll find where I need to be here.
Promise you that me and Dan could have shook hands on several manipulations.
Okay. So I got this. I gotta put it up. Couldn't do it yesterday, but today I can. For as long as I can, at least. I've been pretty tired all day. I'm sick. I think I'm sick. Felt sick and exhausted all day. Now I gotta see if restream. Oh no. Wait. Couldn't do it yesterday, but today. Oh. Let's see here. There we go. I'll pop that up. Bring this over here. This back over here. Maybe resizing. Oh God, what's happening? Yeah, I gotta resize it. Jeez. What a pain. There we go. A little bigger. So I couldn't get to this yesterday. Get out of there. But I can get to it today, so it's today. I don't think I'll be able to get through all of it though. It looks like there's like 4 hours.
With Anne of War.
I'm gonna start this.
I'm being a so you don't have to keep it going.
Some of it yesterday.
I think that's probably going to be one of
nudes
I
and
gotta
say,
go put my food in the oven. I'll be right back.
no, I don't believe
Okay.
that to be true because Blue Tea was it was in retaliation to the comments about Shrek. It's just in dispute whether when he called her Shrek, he was showing her nudes or not. Blue Tea was absolutely she leaked his dick in retaliation to him doing whatever he did. That is 100% the story.
Like,
Oh boy, what a nightmare.
No, Dan, say what you think,
No,
Dan.
no.
We want to know what you
no.
think. Dan, I'm really interested to hear what you think about this.
Wait, about who?
About the situation. About the Blue Tea thing. You were about to say something, weren't you?
No, who asked? I'm sorry, it's not the right time.
Okay. Dan, everyone wants to hear your comments.
I've been giving them throughout the night.
Yeah, but all of them.
Out of curiosity, Dan, what are you waiting for to formulate a opinion?
I have an opinion.
Okay. What are you waiting for to be able to make that opinion public?
I feel like I've said it. I've said it's absolutely. If everything that's alleged is true, as it states, it's bad. It's fucked. It's not good.
Yeah. I mean, to be in a more affirmative position as to what has happened. I mean.
What do you mean? What
What would it take to convince you that it absolutely happened?
So Steve has it sounds like from that post that he's admitted that he sent nudes without consent. So that's fucked up. That's bad.
Okay, so you
The
think it has
blue
happened?
tea thing was
and
without
you think it's
consent
bad,
too.
Okay.
I don't know.
So-
I can't fucking remember what the fuck.
I don't know anything what the blue tea is either. Yeah.
That's not like sweeping or anything along those lines. It's just and unironically don't fucking remember what the fuck that is. What year is this?
2012 with the blue tea thing. It's a long time ago.
Oh Jesus.
So basically, her allegation is that nudes of her were leaked, and they were not only leaked, but the people in the group chat were talking shit about her. She found it, had email and password and shit, and changed all of his shit and posted his dick on Twitter. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
is the
not good
long and short
either.
of it.
A lot of fucking bad stuff. How is it that so many people are so fucked over by like sexual shit? How?
That's what
Why?
I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying. Too,
Irrelevant,
bro.
I could go my whole life without fucking and I'd be fine.
I know, right? And I'm like sitting over here. It's like
I
niggas
don't know why
ruin
you're- I
fucking
don't know why you're
crazy
acting like this is
careers.
normal for people. It feels like you're running defense for Steven again. Like it's not
I know that
regular people.
feels like
it's
that for
people
you
who do
because you're
this.
trying to drag out some fucking drama.
No,
not.
it's people. I have barely talked this whole fucking time. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say.
You're trying to
you
look
are
for a
running
little bit of an
defense.
opening to like.
No, Lab was doing that earlier. I think she's been reasonable
Oh.
now. I think she's
Okay.
I
Well,
think
I don't
she's been
think
more
so.
reasonable now. She was being, I thought, unreasonable earlier, and then I asked her to stop, and then she stopped.
Okay. Well, I don't think this
in
is
my opinion.
saying that like sexual deviancy is the undoing of a lot of people, and I don't get it. If you want to call that fucking sweeping, then you're just retarded. I'm not going to say that's your right. I'm just going to say you're
Yep.
fucking
No,
stupid.
you're saying how
I agree.
you know how this happens because
No,
there
I
are
said I
people-
don't understand because I am not that person. And Irrelevant
You
said,
said,
yeah,
how do
I don't
you-
know
you said,
either
how do
because
you
we're
get
not
in
those
trouble?
people.
You said, how do you constantly get
Oh
in
my
trouble for
God.
something like this? The answer is when you become a predator. That's when you get in trouble for something like this.
Oh, sorry,
No,
no, Lab, you're misunderstanding. He's saying that, like, I don't need sex. How are all of these people motivated by sex so much that they make all these bad decisions and blow their shit up? Like, I don't
Exactly.
understand. I have no empathy for that person because I
It's-
just don't get it. It's
Yeah,
outside
probably
my
because you're not a
experience.
psychopath. You probably, Dan, as much as I don't like you, you probably wouldn't ever send nudes to someone
Never.
when they were like unconsensual. Never.
Zach,
Like,
I
that's
I
not
don't
what you
send
do.
nudes. You know what? Because I know how the fucking internet works. Okay, I know how you can't really truly delete anything from the internet. Ask me how many times I've sent.
Just doing playing new game I got for free from Twitch while I listen to this. It's gonna be long. So in order to not get numb to what's going on, if you gotta dick around
The
with
dick
this too.
pic. Ask me. Ask
How
me,
many
Queeman. Ask me.
times?
Ask me, Queeman. Ask me.
I know the answer. Zero, Dan. Zero.
Zero
I know.
fucking times.
Zero
That's
A lot of
fucking
times.
right.
I get it,
It's a
Dan.
lot of times.
It's 0 fucking times. All right, because panorama mode doesn't fucking go that big. Oh yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Nice
sorry.
one.
No, it's not my. I don't know. I guess I grew up in a fucking different time, and like, I just don't get it. I don't know.
Not much
Like,
of a different time than Steven. Aren't you guys similar ages?
he's 5 years younger than me, so.
Yeah, I think you guys grew up at the same time. I think.
No, very
doesn't
different.
matter.
Very different. See, he grew up with computers, like he grew up with
Plenty of people grow
56K.
up with computers
don't
and
understand.
Don't do this.
He grew up with 56K from day one. Probably had cable internet pretty soon on. By the time he was in his early teens, he already had cable internet.
Okay,
Me,
plenty
grew
of
up-
people are that way.
I grew
but
up with an
yeah.
acoustic coupler. Look up what that is. That's when you have a fucking phone and you have to fucking attach something to the headset and to the fucking microphone. And that's how you fucking get on the internet. Don't fucking tell me that we're the same. Those 5 years are a fucking big difference. Okay? Forget fucking like 9600 baud, 14.4, none of that shit. I'm talking about fucking Telnet. Okay? Using IRC. I still remember the commands to connect. Connect irc.fnet.org space user space A space A space A space A. That's how you can connect with Telnet. Private message space
Wow.
channel. Yeah, I knew because I was there. Okay, he wasn't fucking there. That's the difference. And because he had that instant access, he's not like me.
Sounded like he was fighting demons, bro. He's fucking casting spirits away. He's casting spells with that
Look
fucking
up what an
sorcery.
acoustic coupler is.
Bro
It sounds
literally
a- sounds like a
talked about
sex
it's
move.
like That's like grandma
The
telling
girl
you about
pops
how
in
they
very
had
soon
like
here.
horses and stuff back in the day. They did take
Started it
the
last
horse
night.
carriage.
No.
But I just had to sleep, and I couldn't wait for their stream to be over to go over this.
Go fucking
It's not like
school,
that. I'm
okay?
just saying this is how we got
Crazy.
online back in the day. An acoustic coupler. It's a cool thing to know.
Is it?
Yes.
Listen, after this, Dan, I'm probably gonna bring Max on. We're gonna have like a serious conversation about this.
Yeah, we
I don't-
can chat, Max. That's fine.
Well, hold on. I don't think Max
You were just
wants you to
invited.
be on for it. I think Max is explicitly like Dan's goal. Okay, I'm sorry that I have to leak this, Max. He's like Dan's goal is to not talk about this. He's going to talk about things like this. By the
How am I
way,
not
he said
talking?
this.
That's not
He said
fucking
this
true.
before the acoustic coupler bit. I'm just saying. He said this before this. Now I'm looking up an
The
acoustic
coupler
coupler.
bit did not make you look good, Dan.
That's not even a proper one.
Okay. This one?
Oh wait, no, that might be the right one. Mine
Which
was
one?
like the first one that said star.
The mode of communication. If you remember earlier, it would send the letters documentation a tone, and it'll actually hear its own tone, and it'll play back what is.
Listen, you don't have to.
recorded onto
I'm not
screen.
trying
And
to
I use
derail.
this
I don't
to
care. I'm
tweak
just
it
saying.
until I got it just where I wanted it.
Okay.
He's trying to win now. It's over. The allegation here.
Why are you keeping this going when I say you don't have to keep it
Full
going?
duplex.
Oh, okay. All right.
I claw back a win so hard. It's crazy.
Fuck you, Kleeman. We're gonna have words after this, all right? I'm messaging you right now in the Jewish Discord,
Okay.
and I'm fucking removing Max's roles. Well, I mean, I'm gonna make the
Writing you up.
petition to remove his roles.
Writing you up.
Okay.
A lot of bureaucracy over there.
So I can be serious, and I will be serious, but I also think that it would be that Max was pretty fucked up, I think, without knowing the full details, contacting every single person in Steven's life
God.
ever, saying the crazy shit. And I kind of feel like I don't think it's responsible to just let you platform him to like 3,000 fucking people.
Holy fuck. Yeah. God forbid someone thinks that
Without
something
any
someone is
pushback,
doing
yeah.
something wrong and
yeah,
they
and
do
then
something
contacts
about it.
and contacts everyone in their life. Yeah.
Yeah, God
That's-
forbid. Yeah, when you think someone is doing something wrong, that's what you do.
Okay.
Isn't that what
So-
you did, Dan? Isn't that what you did with Twitch?
Not to everyone.
Literally,
The
literally.
people at Twitch, yeah.
But when it's Destiny, it's different. It's different
not
because he's
that
a
it's different.
baby.
No. Not that at all. I think that if there's evidence of like talk about the pixie shit, that's fine. Talk about Cherry. Talk about yourself. All these things are fucking
Yeah,
fine.
why would you go looking for more? Why would you go looking for more?
Why would you go looking for more? Because Mr. Girl's kind of a little bit unhinged, I would say.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
Well, why are you
pretty
laughing? Do you think
normal.
that's a do you think that
Damn
someone that's been like
conversation.
banned from
I
every
don't
fucking
think that a
platform that
normal
there is
person. I think a normal
yes,
person
Mr.
would
Girl's
see.
not normal. Correct.
I didn't. That's not what I was saying. I was saying
Oh,
I
sorry.
think a normal person would see what Max did and be like, "Oh yeah, this guy has like sexual impropriety claims. Why isn't anyone looking into this more?" And he was
I think
doing
it's
his-
crazy
he was
to
being diligent.
co-host with Destiny and then go, you can't platform Mr. Girl. That sounds.
I'm not saying you can't platform. I'm saying that
Well,
you guys are all going to
like
probably
you
do it
did.
with no pushback whatsoever.
Yeah,
I mean,
will
I
play this
think
problem.
I trust our relevant is actually like he seems a little detached, but like I feel like Relly is close friends with Destiny. I don't think he has any incentive to like just try to sewer Destiny in some way.
Also, to be clear, I'm not close friends with him. I want it noted. You
Ooh,
made that
distancing
clear.
himself fast.
No. Okay, I want to bring something up. Hey,
I'm
listen.
in a unique spot
listen.
where I can push back against fucking Max. I don't care.
Uh,
Like if I lose this fucking show, it doesn't affect my fucking life in the slightest. I don't give a fuck. Okay, but like I remember how fucking
there to push
insane it
back.
was. What Mr. Girl?
I mean, what Dan's saying is technically true, but it matters to him because I mean, obviously, he has interest in supporting Destiny, right? Seems
Did.
like to me.
So
Yeah,
you
Relly
guys
was
can all
about to
like
pop
forget
off.
about
You
it.
just cut off
Right,
Relly's
yeah,
pop
no,
off.
Irrelevant. Go. It's fine. Pop
to
off.
be clear,
I'm trying to
when I
protect
went on his show, I asked him directly on air, "Are we friends?" And he said, "We are friendly." Okay, so that's I want
Oh.
that noted. Okay, that was
I thought it
on the
gonna be a
live.
Pop off. All right.
No.
fair enough.
We're not popping off that. But I will say that I kind of share similar concerns as Dan in regards to Mr. Girl coming on. I don't want this like co-opted in a similar way that I've seen other stories or allegations against Destiny, where it's a bunch of random shit that is really tertiary to the primary thing gets tacked on. and it just makes it so that way it's easily snipeable from
Tertiary.
orbit as just being like weird or unhinged. So I actually am with Dan on that idea for sure.
Yeah,
Well, it's your show,
I'm
Jay
sorry. I
Slug.
was
You
just
can
arguing
just
that.
you can just kick me off the show if you
No, I
don't
can't
want
do
it. But
that. I can't. I'm a big listen. You'd have to do something pretty bad for you to like help me come on my show a whole bunch, and then for me to kind of sewer you. Okay, you'd probably have to do something pretty insane. So I'm not gonna kick you off. I just said, hey, he just want to be here with you. So I'm letting you know. Okay.
I mean, I'm
letting you
not
know.
stopping him from coming on, and I'm fine being serious and talking about this seriously. I'm just not fine with him saying that every single fucking woman in Destiny's life of all time has been molested and destroyed and everything like that. Like, you can talk about shit that Steve's done that's fucked up without making it seem like he's Hitler. That's all. And I'm not letting it go to the Hitler level. And that's where Mr. Girl went.
I
So,
don't remember him ever doing that.
okay.
Can you tell me what I said that you think goes to the Hitler level?
I think that you contacting every single person that he'd ever been on stream with ever and saying, hey, I'm doing a piece on this guy who I think is a rapist. Have you ever been raped? Essentially, in so many words, was pretty unhinged.
Do you have a screenshot of me calling him a rapist or asking them if they were ever raped?
I'm being a little bit flamboyant, I guess I could say here. An abuser would probably be the exact word you used. No, I don't have a screenshot of it.
Okay, so it sounds like you just made something up completely then.
Okay, well, we can ask Max. Max, do you feel like you contacted as many people as you could from Destiny's life? And how would you open those messages? Let's get it direct from the source.
No, I did not contact as many people as I could from Destiny's life. I didn't contact anyone from his personal life. Obviously, there's a lot of overlap between his personal and his professional life, which is kind of perhaps part of the problem. But I did not contact any non-streamer people or non-public people or people about which
Interesting.
information had not been made public. So
Okay. I mean, I remember hearing from Steve, without saying names, that people that hadn't been on stream in probably over 6 to 7 years getting messages from you. People that he just like follows on Twitter getting messages from you. So, like, did you contact his neighbor? No, but I think maybe you would have if you could. Did you contact his ex-wife?
I don't remember, but I don't think so. If I did, it would be because he talked about choking her on stream. But I don't think I contacted his ex-wife. No.
Okay.
I think I contacted one of his exes, who I definitely talked to one of his exes at length.
Okay.
Had a pretty friendly relationship with her, but she was a part of his like career and streaming and stuff. But I did not like contact his family. I didn't contact private people. I was pretty careful to keep my contacts and my criticisms to his professional life.
So you.
That's why I didn't.
So no Melina, no wife, no ex-wives.
If you're saying that Melina,
His wife wasn't family.
if you're saying that
Okay,
Melina is
Dan.
not part of Destiny's
There's-
professional life, he met her.
Well, Melina's
on
just not a
stream.
good option because Melina reached out to a lot of people about some of this stuff. to begin with.
Melina is the person who told me about the affair with Lauren Southern. So the idea that I wouldn't contact Melina and say, hey, if I know, I mean, I can tell you what I said to Melina. I said, hey, listen, I know you probably don't have anything you want to say about this, but if you do, the door's open. Let me know.
Okay. Someone's saying you contacted Hafu. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Did Destiny know her? Well, I thought we're still on the did I contact people from his personal life question.
Yeah, well, we're already past that because you contacted his ex-wife, right?
Okay.
Or are you saying you didn't? We can
Also,
go look. We
This
can go
is this
pull up
about
the
Max?
report.
I'm sorry. When did we start litigating Max? And like,
So this is my problem,
Yeah,
Dan.
I mean,
this is what
this is why I was
happens every
hesitant.
single time. This
Hold on,
what
This is why I was
happens.
hesitant to
Max,
come on the
you
stream.
came on and engaged with the point. I would say you came on and engaged with the point.
I'm
See,
fine.
yeah,
I'm
you
fine.
get
How am I
caught in
like
it.
Hitler?
Yeah. I just want to point out that I don't think Dan cares about anything he's saying. I think he wants to prevent us from having this conversation. He's running interference. So Dan doesn't have to make a good argument or a good counter argument. He can say things and not back them up. He doesn't care, like he said earlier. He doesn't really care if he loses the stream. He doesn't lose anything by losing an argument. All he is here to do is derail the conversation and make it impossible to talk about what I think we're all here to talk about.
First off, that's not true, because unlike you, I did reach out to Pixie and did give
Hey,
advice
brother
that was
style. Thank you very
completely
much.
against. Like if Steve heard the, shut the fuck up, Lav.
Or
If
what?
Steve did
Or
heard the,
what will you do, Dan? Well,
I haven't seen all the stuff that Dan said. I would have a hard time believing that Dan has no interest in sweeping for Destiny. That seems very difficult for me to believe. So I think that on its face, I'm going to accept what Mr. Girl's saying there. But Dan has a chance to prove otherwise.
what will you do
But
if I don't?
what do you mean, unlike me? Why are you saying I didn't reach out to Pixie?
because when you reached out, you were just doing it trying to destroy Destiny. When I reached out to Pixie, I was doing it to try and fucking help her. That's the difference.
And that's why you wanted her to come on here to litigate. You wanted a victim to come up on a drama channel and litigate because you care about her so much. Give me a fucking break, Dan.
I do care. Yes.
Right.
Oh, you're saying you want me to turn my mic up? I can do that.
If you can, turn your mic up a little bit, that would be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, so it's hard to take anything you say super seriously when I watched all these old streams. Anytime someone starts talking to Anna, you pop up on the stream and just start rambling and accusing and saying stuff. And it's like there's no direction to the conversation and nothing goes anywhere. You can throw out accusations like unlike you,
With
I
Anna
reached out to
Voir.
Yes.
Okay. I stand
Anna
by
Voir.
everything from Anna Voir. She was fucking insane.
You don't. I think you don't understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what you stand by or don't stand by because your goal is to prevent a conversation from happening. So your position isn't a real position. You
Okay,
don't have a
you're-
position.
You're incorrect, and you can't just say it so factually as to make it true. As I said, I contacted Pixie. I said things that Destiny would be like furious if he knew that I said them when I was giving advice to Pixie on what to do on this situation. I did not say things trying to protect Destiny. I said things literally trying to make Pixie's life better solely. Okay? So I do
That
that
might
when
be
I
the
reach out to
case.
people, I try to help them. The problem is that when I see you reaching out to people, you do it because you fucking hate Destiny. That's it.
Okay, even if that were true, that doesn't change the fact that this is something that Destiny did. Even if Max hates him more than anything, even if Max thinks he's Hitler, even if he said publicly he's Hitler, it doesn't change the fact that Destiny has done something like horrific.
I'm like not even paying attention to what you're saying, Dan. It's not a response to what I said. What I'm
That-
saying
that
is
was
in
that
this.
was Lav talking, not me. Sorry.
Yeah,
know.
I am paying attention to. I pay attention to everything that Lav says.
Thank you.
She's your daughter, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Where did
But,
I
you
say
know-
that Destiny didn't do anything bad?
You didn't say that.
Okay.
I'm not saying you said that. I'm saying that you are here to prevent this conversation from happening. You even said that. You said you don't. You said you're getting on the stream partly and staying partly because you don't want me to be uncontested. And
Yes.
your method, yes, and your method of pushing back is not to actually talk about the topic at hand, which I think is Destiny non-consensually leaking nudes. Your method of pushing back is to talk about anything else and to make it impossible to talk about that one topic.
And why didn't he do it prior to you joining the call?
You did.
He
He's been
did.
doing it-
We talked about it.
Not really.
I even asked him questions. Yeah, no, I even asked him questions about it.
Okay. Well, what I heard was Dan kind of rambling and equivocating and saying things like, well, maybe he secretly did have consent and we all just haven't. It's like Dan's in a time machine.
I'm sorry.
It's like
when
it's like Dan is a day in the
I-
past and we have to tell him what happened today so that he can understand what we're talking about.
Okay, maybe you were confused like I was a minute ago because I was confused as to where Dan stood, and then Dan clarified aptly and quickly when I asked Dan just a moment ago, "Hey, what would it be needed for you to be able to give a concise answer?" Then he just ran me down the track that it looks like the log that was leaked that had Destiny saying, "Yeah, I did this, I leaked it, and I fucked up really bad," right? To Straight Array. He said that, yeah, that's bad. He admitted it on his own. Are you saying that like he didn't mean that?
Again, either that you want me. No, I'm not saying he didn't mean that. I'm saying that it's not really participating in the conversation to have to be shown something that he probably has already read and then acknowledge that
What?
yes, it says what it says. Destiny appears to have admitted this. So now Dan is caught up on what happened. But that's still not really talking about what happened.
Yes, it is. You're speculating. So right now, what you're doing is you're speculating whether or not he saw it before and came in here on false pretenses.
What would be sufficient for you, Max, for Dan to say to where you don't think he'd be doing that?
I think that we would need to be having a conversation about the topic, not just whether it happened or not, since we all know that it did.
Mhm.
And I think we all knew that it happened about a month ago. I don't think there was any question in any of our minds genuinely about whether these nudes were leaked consensually. It's pretty obvious.
There's like
that
preponderance of evidence, absolutely. Like you might not say.
yeah, I think we all knew
yeah,
that these nudes were leaked non-consensually a month ago. So we would need to accept that as a premise.
Wait, wasn't this? First off, weren't these leaked over a year ago? Like in 2022?
Sorry, he's
Yeah,
saying
but-
that
but
the
it was not
hack,
public.
the hack or the whatever happened where the account was
Oh, that-
compromised.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
November
I'll just say it
20th and then
again.
November
We all
29th.
knew that that Destiny non-consensually leaked these nudes a month ago. So we don't need to litigate whether
No,
happened.
that first off, that's not even true. What you're saying. Destiny non-consensually leaked this shit 2 years ago.
We
It
knew
was-
it a month ago. I knew it a month
Okay,
ago.
then
I don't know when you knew
speak
it.
clearly.
He did.
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry. I'll say
retarded.
this again. We knew that Destiny non-consensually leaked these nudes a month ago. We knew it a month ago.
Okay, that he did it 2 years ago. Yes.
Sure.
I knew it a month ago. Again,
You
I'm
knew that
assuming
there were logs
you
of Destiny leaking
Yeah.
nudes non-consensually
we don't
from
need to
2023
spend-
or possibly 2022.
we don't need
We
to
were made aware
spend
of it.
any time litigating whether they were non-consensually leaked. So anytime you spend talking about that
Mr.
is
Girl's correct.
I don't feel like we're
Obfuscation.
spending a lot of time talking about
we're
that.
not.
Okay,
I don't know
great.
where you're.
So we all are on the same page. Destiny non-consensually leaked Pixie's nudes.
Yes, it seems that way. Yes.
So
Yeah,
wait, it
as-
seems that way, or it is that way?
So-
Do we agree
Unless
that that
something
happened?
comes out,
I said
where
yes
the fucking
three
Pixie
different
comes in
times.
here and
yes.
says,
No,
JK?
you guys are definitely being slippery about
It's-
You're
it.
still equivocating.
really
a
being
little bit.
slippery in the
So
slightest.
it's kind of confusing. So it seems it seems that way.
Let me
So
say, unless Pixie comes in here and says,
I said
JK,
yes 3
it didn't
times.
happen, then yes.
Yeah, you can just say
Okay.
yes.
okay, great. So what do you think about that?
That's not good.
He's bad. He's doing a very bad thing to another human being, a group of other human beings.
It's bad. It shows a level of recklessness that's completely unacceptable, and probably takes away his ability to like have certain serious roles that require
He
trust. of him.
completely self-sabotaged
think-
on that shit.
Yeah, I think
If that's what it is, yeah, it's fucked up. Absolutely.
Self-sabotage is also a weird way to say it when you victimize someone. Self-sabotage is very strange.
Okay, let me throw
What?
something out there.
What?
Okay, in Pixie's allegation, she
Yeah.
said that she confided in Destiny about her lack of sexual experience and thought that because of his position as a streamer who talks about consent and sex so much, he would be a good person to experiment with. Does that? How do you feel about that idea? The idea that there are people, young women, who have looked at Destiny as some kind of guru on this stuff and have unwittingly ended up getting their consent totally violated, and you guys have been kind of mouthpieces the last couple of years and helped
I
prop up that image.
Need
How-
more
that
evidence of
is
that precise
not
pattern
fucking
playing
true.
out.
Show me.
I would just need more evidence of that precise pattern playing out. Somebody
Wait a minute,
Sure,
why would you?
sure.
Why would you
I
say
think
that?
I'm naive, and I think that that just seems like we're. I mean, I can do a whole bunch of like just so.
Dan, you're
things as
literally the
well.
co-host for this guy. What do you mean? You
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, I understand that, but it doesn't mean that I'm fucking there. Like,
Okay.
what you just said. That's fucking wild.
Okay, well,
So-
whatever issue you have with the framing, you're his co-host. Okay, let's just say that. All right, Dan.
I do a show with him. I am his
If
co-host
it makes,
on
if
that
it makes
show.
Dan
At
more
SBTV.
comfortable, just focus on me. Talk about like the Lauren De Laguna thing. I clearly attacked this woman when she said he records things illegally, right?
Oh, I think you should focus on Dan. Actually, now that you've said that.
I mean, I feel like I have a show with him. That's
Yeah,
true.
my food.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think
It's been
that's a
beeping
good
for a
point,
minute.
Queen Min, and I think Leah's making a good point too, in that referring to this as self-sabotage, when you sexually violate someone else's consent, electronically in this case, referring to that as self-sabotage does seem like you're sweeping.
I
Do
I could see how you would feel
acknowledge-
that. I could see
Well,
how
yeah,
you would feel that way.
I think it's
yeah.
a fair point.
I don't think what I'm saying is unironic, or sorry, not unironic, untrue. I think I'm trying to put this in a way.
Well, sweeping doesn't accuse you of saying something untrue. It accuses you of using a dishonest framing.
Is that dishonest framing?
Can I still mend that point?
Disingenuous framing, yes.
Can I go for that? Because I see where
go
Dan
for it,
is
Robbie.
coming from on that. So I totally see
No,
where Dan
I want
is
to hear.
coming
I
from.
want to hear. No, I want to hear what Dan thinks. I want to hear what.
Well, it's a
Dan
good
was-
thing this isn't your channel. So
Just let-
the
let
issue
Relly
with
speak.
what
Let him speak.
with what Dan was saying was or at least the essence of what I got from it, because I'm not saying that Dan is like a foreign operative here. Dan was trying to say, even from a purely selfish point of view, this is a self-sabotaging thing. Even if you're going from like a very selfish, like a me thing, and you disregard Pixie as a human being, it's like, dude, you're giving this material to a fucking 19-year-old who you have very little understanding of their reliability to be able to keep these things. This is ridiculous. You are self-sabotaging here. It doesn't make any sense. So even if you disregard Pixie as a human being, or any of these other people as a human being,
I'm
it's
not really-
self-sabotaging.
I think that's
and it's
the
talking
problem.
about he's talking about the motive. So he's not necessarily sweeping from my.
What Dan's saying is true. However, when you call it self-sabotage, you are making Destiny a victim of himself. He's the one being sabotaged here. Sabotage is a bad thing that happens to people. So when you say that, it's unavoidable. Like, you can't get around the fact that you're saying the bad thing is happening to this person. I don't see how that's very difficult to understand. I think Relly's usually pretty good faith, so I don't want to say he's being bad faith here, but it seems pretty obvious to me. What's
My
being
point of
said
view,
there.
he's talking about even from a selfish motive.
I
It's
think-
weird. It's weird.
I think making that argument is a little weird, because what we're talking about is someone's consent being violated, and then you're saying, well, let's disregard her just for the sake of argument. Let's disregard her as a human being so we can make the point of even.
I wouldn't say it's
even if
that
Destiny-
aggressive.
I just
This
wanna
is the
finish- I just
type
wanna
of shit
finish-
I wanted to make sure wasn't
wanna
fucking happening when I
I
came
just
in.
want
agree
to.
with
I just
you,
want
Yeah,
to
Dan.
yeah,
finish.
I
what I'm-
understand that
just
you
wanna
want to
finish what
fucking
I'm-
say
I
that
just
we're
wanna finish-
disregarding her as a human.
I just want to
That's
finish. I just
fucking
want to finish
retarded.
what I'm just going to
Max,
finish what I'm
like 15
saying.
more seconds. Go ahead.
I think that introducing a frame in which we're disregarding Pixie as a human being is sweeping, because it normalizes Destiny as a self-interested psychopath hurting other people and not caring about other people's well-being as a jumping off point for the discussion, which
So
which it sidelines the entire problem that we're talking about, which is that
I think
he's
you can
harming other
sideline the
people.
problem, but can I give you a less aggressive? I think probably what this reveals to me is that Dan, and I'm not. This isn't a shot, Dan. I think you're more concerned about Destiny, the person you've been friends with for a long time. That's the person you're concerned with, and this just reveals like your base level of concern is about Destiny. I'm not saying that's like wrong. I'm saying you are friends with him.
I don't think
it's
that's
putting
enti-
Destiny above fixing the conversation.
I
when
don't
you say
think
he's
that's
just self-sabotaging.
entirely. I don't think that's entirely honest, because
Okay.
I've watched this cycle. I think we all have watched this cycle happen a lot, where Destiny does something reprehensible, but he's not called out morally. Instead, he's called out for being stupid or being dumb. And this is a very common thing for people to do when they get caught doing something bad, is to say, it was so dumb of me. I threw away everything. I betrayed the trust of all my fans. I blah, blah, blah. And it very sneakily reframes it not as a moral failure or an issue where you've harmed another person and you're acknowledging and focusing on that harm. It reframes it as self-destructive, stupid. I shouldn't have done this to myself.
Yeah, I just
So-
wasn't going to include all the parts about depersoning Pixie. So
Okay,
I
yeah,
felt
like this is just, I understand that you could be that way, but I reached out to Pixie at great risk for my friendship with Steven because I didn't do shit that was like, oh, let me help out Steven here and try and steer this in a way. I wish Pixie was here because she could tell you herself. And I understand, you guys don't want her coming in, fine. But like,
Wait, are you
nothing
not
that,
allowing Pixie to come into the call?
not me.
Pixie, I think,
She's not.
accidentally joined, and I said I don't know if it'd be smart for her to be here, given she
Yeah,
has
but it's
legal,
not. You're not
like,
saying you don't
legal-
want her to come in the call.
No,
That's what
I don't.
literally
I
they said.
want to talk to Pixie. Obviously, I just don't
Definitely a
want.
bad
I don't want
idea.
her speaking publicly right now.
Yeah, well,
on
I
my
wish that
platform,
she
it just feels weird.
she would.
She hasn't
because,
asked. She hasn't asked, to clarify.
Okay,
Yeah, she is.
the whole point is that what I told Pixie was not stuff that benefits me or benefits Steven. Like, as an aside, she was like, oh, I think I want to ask for this number. And I was like, that seems really fucking low. Like, in this idea that I'm doing shit to try and sweep for fucking Steven from people like you that are fucking insane is like crazy. Okay?
Yeah. I just again, even changing the subject to whether I'm insane is sweeping.
Okay.
There's. I really think that
No,
we should
that's-
talk
that's-
about
Well,
the
what?
leaking of the
That's
leaking
not
of
true.
the nudes, the leaking of the nudes, and the effects that
Which is
has.
bad. And I said it was bad. And I
I also
stand
think
with
you
Pixie on
wanted
it.
to come in and point out that Dan was not being genuine. I think that was a
No, I
primary
didn't. I
concern
wanted
of
to wait
yours.
till Dan was gonna leave, but then I
Yeah,
realized
I know you do.
he's-
And that's why I
I-
fucking stayed. Yeah,
I
because
know.
I don't want to
realized
let
you
you
were never
have...
gonna leave.
Yes.
And so I came in to just say that I think it's impossible to have this conversation if you have one or two people in the call who are trying to prevent it from happening.
Yeah, you're like Hassan.
This
It's
is
like
right-
people,
this is-
people need re-education
like
camps.
Hassan.
If there's
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
who
Seems pretty fair to
disagrees, yeah,
me.
we need to get rid of them. So it's only people who are complicit with me.
What do you
that's
disagree with?
crazy. I disagree. What do I disagree with? The whole point of you basically saying that, like, my intentions here are anything but fucking honorable.
But you stayed
For
in
the
the
start.
call because you thought that I was going to say your intentions of staying in the call weren't honorable?
Just because I think that Destiny just because I think Destiny absolutely fucked up with what he did to Pixie doesn't mean that I'm gonna let him be like destroyed by you
How would I destroy him?
What do
What do you think?
by
What do you think?
inferring a lot of
I wanna-
bullshit, like
I'm
you tried
curious
before, like you tried to do
I
before.
want to know what you think what I would say if you weren't here. What
This is
what
what we
what would
picked
I
up last
say?
week
And
when
then I
we
want to
left
hear
off
what
last night.
your pushback is.
Man, I don't know. I'd have to go pull up the report, but I
Let's
think
pull
it
up
would
the
be
report. That's a good
Okay.
idea.
yeah.
Can I compound off of Dan's thing while he's pulling up the report?
No, I've got it up already. Actually, I want to just say I think I started with 4 main criticisms of Destiny. One is that he has unequal sexual relationships, often with small streamers who benefit enormously from their
You know what I
associations with him.
realize what I just dislike about this
Are you
situation
gonna let him
is we
stop?
have someone. No,
Actually, you should let him finish, Dan.
No,
You
I
should
think
let him
there's
finish.
a good
Okay.
amount of
And
talking
then
timer. that we
number
can
2
have
is
here.
retaliation.
We
Destiny
need the talking
mobilizes his
timer.
Destiny mobilizes his highly
Mr.
involved
Scott.
community
I can let you
to
get back.
harass those
Let him
those
finish
who
the full
criticize
thoughts.
him, including small streamers he has had sexual relationships with.
True.
That's number 2. Number 3 is sadism. Destiny's stream guests, including his sex partners, are routinely pitted against each other in emotional gladiator matches. And number 4 is narrative control. He silences critics. So, you were worried I was going to say one of those things?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
I was worried that you were gonna. This is here's the thing. This is a story about Pixie being harmed,
Yes.
and you want to turn it into a story to make Mr. Girl relevant again. In my mind.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
And I will never be fucking moved off of that point ever
Okay.
because it's true. That's why you're here. You haven't been on the
Hold on,
stream
hold on.
in fucking months. You're like,
Uh,
hey,
he's here
yes,
because I asked
it's
him.
Mr.
He
Girl's
didn't-
fucking
He didn't
time.
reach out to me. I reached out to
Okay.
him.
Yeah, and have you not reached out to him before a few times?
Yeah,
Holy
I
fuck,
have-
this is
So-
pathetic and
He
desperate.
had,
Not
well,
really.
he had notable
I-
in this Discord. He had notable in this
And I
Discord.
know
before this.
pathetic
We've
and
had
desperate.
Other comments.
He doesn't give a shit about Pixie. He gives a shit about winning. It's like so fucking obvious. I don't
Yes.
understand what's going
Yeah.
on.
Okay, so
I'm-
what
okay.
I would
Hold
just
on,
want to say
that's
again.
true. We'll be able to
we-
tease that out over time if
I
that's
just
true.
want to stick back to this last point. We went through the report just now, the 4 main contentions. You said you didn't think I was going to say those things, or you didn't disagree with them.
No, I don't want to
which.
get what Pixie's
So-
real claims are against Steve to
So
be
what-
dragged down with your through the mud bullshit that nobody gives
Thank
a fuck
you.
about.
Oh, so you're
That's
here
what
to
you don't wanna
defend.
have
You're
happen.
here to
Yes, thank you.
you're here to defend Pixie.
Yeah, like I already fucking did, reaching out to her, which you didn't do. You knew
didn't?
for a month. What did you do? What did you do to help out Pixie? Did you give her advice or talk to her? Or were you just trying to get more shit for your
I
fucking
actually
report to
can't
go somewhere?
believe that you're older than 13, Dan. I actually can't believe it.
Well, that's
Okay.
because you've
So,
done
we don't
nothing
need
with
the-
your life.
So I
Fine,
again,
so we're fine.
not
what is
surprised.
so you? I thought you said that I was going to say something bad about Destiny that you were going to have to argue against.
No,
So-
I thought you were going to try and make it dragged into your story and make the story about you. And it's not
Okay,
about
what-
you, Max. It's
okay,
about
what-
fucking Pixie.
what would I say to do that?
Exactly the shit you're doing right now.
Well, I
Let me
think-
pull up my
Exactly.
report.
Here, hold on. I think what
Exactly.
Wait, you
just
brought
can
up
I-
my report. You
Hold on,
brought up
stop,
my
stop,
report.
stop,
You
stop,
wanna
everybody
talk
shut
about-
the
the
fuck
thing
up
you
for
would
2
do.
seconds. I just need to ask if Max's goal was to say, "Hey, I think this is an example of the exact pattern I laid out." Like, can he believe that without being like
Well,
totally
no, but
negatively
that-
motivated,
wait,
or do
that
you think
wasn't? Don't
believing
put
that?
words in my mouth. That
I
wasn't
said
my goal.
if.
No,
Okay,
I don't
go
want to
ahead.
hear if. I want to hear what Dan thinks my position is that he has to argue with. What is it that I'm going to come on and say I'm relevant?
I think that you were made to look like a fool with your Destiny report. Okay? Look,
Okay.
I'm not.
Awesome
Oh,
underscore
no?
sauce.
Okay,
just
sorry.
tipped
No, that's
$5.
okay. If that's
What's
if
the
that
Dono
it,
needed
so
to
the
let
posi-
Mr.
I want to know
Girl
what,
actually-
what you
yes,
think
this is my
position
position. My position
Well, no,
is you
what's
put out
my
tremendous.
position that you disagree with? That's
Okay.
what I'm asking. What was I going to say that you had to stay on this stream to disagree with?
It was more so that you were going to try and tie this entire situation to yourself so that you can
How?
become relevant again. What do you mean
How?
how? That's why you're
By doing-
fucking here right now.
I'm not. That's not an answer. How would I do it now that I'm here? What would
Guys,
I do?
look at this thing. Look at what happened fucking like with Blue Tea in 2012. Look, I was here. I wrote this thing. Do you see? Like that's how.
But I didn't
exactly
bring up
like
Blue
that.
Tea.
Bring that up at all.
You guys
You know
brought
what
up Blue
the problem
Tea.
is? You literally don't give a fuck about. That's why your shit didn't go anywhere. You don't give a fuck about victims. You only care about your fucking story. You want to drag down Pixie's very clear, very obvious shit where she was harmed and try to tie it to all of your obfuscated bullshit. Wow,
What would I-
Pixie is
what-
fine on her own. She doesn't
But-
need your bullshit weighing her fucking down with a guy that's known online as a pedophile that has fucking videos of him like being insane to his wife fucking Shaylin, right? That's what we don't need, having that shit tied to fucking Pixies.
Correct.
Legitimately
Girlfriend.
honest
Girlfriend.
fucking
We're
claim
girlfriend.
that it was
We're not
nothing
married.
wrong.
Don't get a hey. We're not
Oh,
married.
so who's fucking making jokes now?
Yeah, who's making light of it now? Yeah, this is ridiculous.
I
Okay,
think-
Me. I am making a
there's no way
joke.
to not make light of this because you got like obviously Dan is being insane. Like
Why
obviously
am I
Dan is
he's
being
not being
insane?
into everything. There was perfectly lucid. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it's just
I
it's
still don't
ridiculous
really
to say
understand. Okay,
that.
so
Here.
let's
He
let's
doesn't
try this.
actually care.
Dan, you're here.
That's
and
true.
You're ready to defend Destiny from
No,
me
that's
trying to
not
take
true. I'm ready to defend Pixie from you
Okay, you're
fucking up
ready
her claim. How
it.
about
What?
Ready to
Okay,
defend
hold on,
Pixie
hold on.
from me fucking up her claim.
That
So-
wasn't what you said earlier, Dan. That wasn't what you said
Okay.
earlier when I
Well, I'm
said.
You said,
clarifying.
yeah, you said
Thank
I
you
was going to
for-
destroy Destiny. You said I wanted to destroy Destiny, and that's
Okay,
what
I'm
we're gonna-
clarifying then. Sure.
You're clarifying by switching to a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very clear.
Okay.
All right, so
Rad.
now that you're here, and we know that Destiny and or Pixie are safe because you can protect them.
Yes.
I would like to have a conversation about these leaks and these. I don't even say allegations because he's saying he did it. So
Mhm.
I guess happenings, behavior, and
I think it's
when,
fucking.
and when you,
I
and when
think it's
you
bad.
feel and
I
then
think
when
it's
you
bad to do it.
and when you feel
Not bad. It's disgusting to do it. Okay. And,
and when you feel you need to push back against something I have to say about it, you go ahead and push back. Let's just
Okay,
have
you-
the conversation. You're ready. You've got your counter
Sure.
arguments all lined up.
let's make
got
it
your
about
defen-
what's happening today, as opposed to. I think when you drag more shit into it. Look,
It
let
sounds
me
like
give you.
you keep
No,
bringing up
hold on.
other stuff,
Okay.
but I'm not bringing up other stuff. You are.
When you do that, when you
Yeah.
if you do If you
If I do
choose, if you
I'm-
choose to,
Yeah.
okay. You know what? Go fucking nuts. Go ahead. Let's have the conversation.
But I'm rich Jew, but I think my mommy's on the pedo Jew this time. That's a good comment.
Jesus Christ.
That's a good comment.
I mean,
Yeah, I was
this
going
is
to point out
part
to
of the
Relly that
problem.
we're
Like,
significantly more outnumbered
Okay.
now.
So now that we're not, now that
Right.
we're focused. I think. I don't think Destiny's response here is very good. See him. We've all read the response from Destiny, right?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, we
I believe everyone has. I believe
on the
everyone.
subreddit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should put it up on.
It is.
So. The first sentence is, sometime in November, extremely sensitive and personal material of mine was leaked. Actually, the first sentence is the subject. Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways, such wow. Now, at first blush, this seems like kind of a irreverent shrugging off, but also acknowledging the seriousness of what's happening. But it is also, beneath that, a kind of reframing of what's happening as just another crazy, zany Destiny drama arc. Now it's the legal arc. But also, with this such wow, it also screams to me that he's a victim somehow. That he's framing this
That's
as
reaching.
something
I'm pushing
something
back.
bad.
You said to push
something-
back when you said
Yes.
something.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
Let me
reaching.
just finish
That's
my
reaching.
sentence,
Yeah,
and
you
then
said it.
you go ahead. I think he's saying that this is something bad that's happening to me, which I think is backed up by this first sentence. Extremely sensitive and personal material of mine was leaked. So that's my initial criticism, is that the framing is that Destiny is the victim here.
Okay. He was a partial victim because there's videos of him jerking off by himself that got leaked. So that
Yeah, but
would
he
make
did
him
it.
part of the victim here.
We've already
is
kind of
one-
spoken about that stuff, though, right? The conversation's now about Pixie, yet he's chosen to reframe it to be about him and how he was victimized, right, Dan?
I'm
Yeah, again, so
addressing
sweeping-
Mr. Girl saying that he's not a victim. He is
No, I didn't
also
say
a
that.
victim.
That's a
Oh,
straw
okay,
man.
gotcha. You said such wow implies he's a victim.
Yes.
So is he not a
Well, that's kind of tough. Is he really a victim? It's not as though I don't believe in like deserves at all. Like, I don't believe it's right to say somebody deserves something or not. Like those ideas are weird to me. But I do find it I think it's at least in bad taste to reframe what's happening by calling Destiny a victim. It just seems like obviously wrong to me. It's weird.
victim?
Max, do
he
you
is a
think he's
victim.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Go. Sleeper team.
Destiny is a victim in this situation. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
I
So
don't think I agree with
also, I push back on the idea that adding the word "such wow" indicates that he is saying he's a victim. It's literally from the Doge meme. Such wow, much amaze. Like, are you familiar with this?
Do you think it's appropriate when you're being accused
No,
of
no, no,
something
no, wait,
this
wait, it's not
serious
that-
to say
I mean-
something like that, Dan?
I
It's
think
not
that
that-
when
it's not-
something
it's-
this serious
it's-
happens, sometimes
separate
people
statement.
naturally try to bring a little bit of levity into
it's
it.
absolutely appropriate to say
Naturally.
something sarcastic like such wow. It's absolutely appropriate when something bad happens to you. Like I got cancer, such wow. But if the post is about something bad that happened to somebody else or something bad you did, then it's not appropriate. So by using that phrase, I think he's framing himself as the victim. To respond to your straw man argument that I think he's not a victim, no, I think he's a victim. I think his personal stuff was leaked, and that's embarrassing and uncomfortable for him. But on some level, I also think he kind of likes it on some level and set this up to happen. But even so, he's
Objection. Assuming facts, not in evidence.
Sure.
That's a fucking
Whatever.
like.
Sure,
Jesus.
whatever. Sure, whatever. Keep going.
well, either he's reckless or with his own nudes, or he is retarded. And I have a lot of
Speculation. No, listen. I
No,
don't
just from
disagree.
a logical,
he's
from a
actually,
logical,
yes. It's
from a
fucking-
logical
I mean,
point.
it does make sense to me, or to you. Okay, both of us have long-term
no.
relationships.
No,
I
no,
understand. It doesn't make sense.
It does
It's
make
crazy. I
sense.
would never send shit online to people anyone's ever.
It makes
never like
well,
that.
Dan, it makes sense to me. I think I understand
I don't.
this fairly well, but I don't think Destiny's retarded. But for everything I've said about him, I don't think he's stupid. So I think we can assume that he knew that there was a high probability that this would be leaked, that this is risky behavior he's engaging in. Anyway, my problem. See, we're still not even past the first sentence, but
You told me to object when I had an issue. That's what I'm fucking doing. That's why I'm here. Am I not?
yeah, but your objection is fake. You said
Well,
that
we
I said
actually
he's,
don't
It's
know
not
why you're
fake.
here, Dan. You've said a couple things.
you're
And soon his job.
Okay, so my problem with this is that he's framing himself as the victim. Not that he isn't a victim, but that we are supposedly he's making a statement on his non-consensually leaking the nudes of Pixie, but it starts to sound like a statement about himself and how he's the victim and how something bad's happened to him. This doesn't sound like he's taking accountability for his bad behavior. It sounds like he's pointing the finger at somebody else, passing the buck, and not taking accountability. What do you think?
Can I ask you? So I want to go ahead and just give a devil's advocate here. Can he do that when he does have pending litigation? Can he go, yeah, I feel bad. I non-consensually leaked this stuff. I did wrong, and I need to take accountability. Can he do that? So he can.
Well, he
but,
already
like,
he,
will
he
he
said
will
it.
he
He
do that?
said
Will
it
that
in
be
a
the advice
DM
of lawyers?
He said it in a DM to her already, so she already has him cold, acknowledging that he did this. So yeah, I think so.
I thought that was to Straderade.
Well, he's still cold. He's still caught. Whether whoever it's to, he said he did it.
So I think we can all agree that I don't know if like the Discord message like that. I don't know if that would be like stone cold proof in court. I don't know. I'm saying like it might be that in his own words that like here on his subreddit, where it can be like
You're saying
verified that this is real.
In court, he's gonna deny that he said that in a Discord message.
Mr. Girl,
I don't know.
Let's
I
be
don't know
real-
if you
let's
can
be
use
realistic
stuff like
here. Okay, if you're being threatened with litigation, would you expect him to act differently than this?
Yes.
How would okay if so in your world, Mr. Girl, if because I know you talked about this type of stuff. If someone has committed a crime, should they get the best defense possible for themselves, or should they just admit to the crime?
That's a false dichotomy because I don't think this is either.
Okay, well, so you don't want to answer that one then?
It's a
He
it's
rejected
a
the premise.
false dichotomy. Why don't you ask an open-ended question and I'll just tell you what I think they should do.
Okay, let me be more specific. So we have a
This
man.
isn't the best defense. That's my point. I don't think he's making a good defense.
Okay, he may
Legally
be limited in
or
what he
from
can
a
do.
PR
Well, you're not an attorney. You have no fucking idea. Neither do I.
Okay, so he may be limited in what he can do. So is that you conceding that this post does not take accountability for his behavior? And now you're explaining why it doesn't take accountability for his behavior. So do
I
we,
would say, is
are
it
we
like
in
the,
agreement? Are
is
we
it
in
the,
agreement that
go
he's
to
not
your
taking
go to your
accountability?
knees apology? I can't believe I did this. I'm going to rehab everything. No, but I'm telling you why it can't be like that, right?
That's fine
No
if
shit.
it can't be. The question is it that? Is he taking accountability or is he shifting the blame to other people and framing himself as a victim? I get why he would do that. I'm not saying I don't understand why he's doing that. The question
you're
is,
saying
is
like
he,
I get why you would have a defense attorney, but I don't understand why you wouldn't just come out and literally say that you fucking beat that woman. Like what the fuck? Like what do you want me to
That's-
say
again-
in this situation? This is very
really? Do you want me to answer what I think you should say?
yeah. I guess it's have like no defense and just like say fuck it, YOLO.
No, I don't think that. That
Okay.
wouldn't be
So
a good
what should
strategy.
so how should Destiny respond to this?
Thank you. Yes.
Um,
How should Destiny respond to this, Max? How would you have responded to this?
How would I have responded to it? Well,
Well, how
If
do you?
I
Sorry, how do you think
if
Destiny
I
should?
non-
How do you think Destiny should have responded? I don't care how you. Sorry, how
at
you
what
think
point?
Destiny
You mean
should
starting
Right now,
today?
today.
Starting today, what should he have done?
Yes.
Yep, today.
Interesting question.
I think he should say, I think he should make a. Well, I don't. If the morally correct thing to do is to come clean.
Said so for every person that's accused of a crime ever, just don't have a defense attorney. The better thing to do is to come clean right away.
I want to finish, Dan.
Okay.
I don't like this question too much because it forces the psychopathic, amoral self-preservation lens, and then I have to disregard what's right for Pixie to answer it. So it's it feels like a bit of a trick question when the my criticism is that he's posting about how he's a victim. So even from a self-preservation standpoint, I don't think he should be doing that. I don't think his lawyer is going to like this post. I don't think the judge is going to like this post. Nobody's going to like this post. I don't think Pixie.
You have
thinks
no
it.
idea. I mean, you can say that. You think that. You don't know.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying I do.
Okay.
This is
yeah,
pure
sure.
speculation. I am
Fair
just
enough.
saying my totally uninformed opinion. I have no idea if this is true. This is just my opinion.
Okay. Well, Max, I would agree with you that in a world, the moral thing to do when you fuck up is to say, "I'm sorry, I did it. I can't believe I did it. I'm gonna get held
Okay.
for every crime." But
So
that there's more
so
things
even
than just a
so
moral
now
thing,
in
right?
the self-preservation psychopath.
No,
lens.
it's not self-preservation psychopath. It's that everyone deserves defense, right? You would say that?
No, I would say what I'm about to say, which is different from what you're saying.
Okay.
What I would say and what I will say is that if he really wants to defend himself and maybe try to walk the line of maybe being partly moral, I think what he should say is, I know you've all heard about the lawsuit. I know you all have a lot of questions for me and criticisms, and I appreciate you sharing those things out of respect for the parties involved, and of course to protect myself from future litigation. I can't talk about this right now. I know I owe you guys an explanation. I hope you understand that I can't give you one, but if you hang tight, an explanation.
Yeah, this is
will
a
be-
response that Mr. Girl can give. This is not a
You ju-
response that Destiny, who's like
you just
a
asked
million
me what I
times.
would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, but that's what you would say as you. Destiny is
I
literally
tried to
one of the biggest
clarify-
political content creators. He can't say, "Hey guys, I'll get back to you in a little bit." It's not going to fucking work. He has to give a statement, or the fucking world is going to come down on him every day, nonstop. Look at Virgil
That's still a
Texas, who
statement.
said nothing. Okay, he has to say something. He has to be something substantive. And he's walking a fucking line between trying to put out as much information as he can, while also defending himself, while also acknowledging that he did fucked up shit. It's a rough spot to fucking be in. Okay, what you would do is
I think he should
irrelevant.
have just admitted to doing it and say that he's getting help and that it should have never happened.
Well, that's why you have no fucking money and no fucking career, no anything, because you don't know anything about
What
anything.
are you even talking about? That's obviously the clear
Oh,
thing. what you
obviously
should
the
do.
clear thing. Any robber ever should just like admit that they did.
All right, I'm gonna go get my food. I'm gonna turn off my camera, but I'm still gonna be listening and commenting. And I'll turn my camera back on when I'm done eating. Where is it? There.
Did it and like go to jail. Like,
A
I can't
robber,
believe.
like yeah, someone who did this to pick, like someone who unconsensually sent nudes should absolutely take accountability and never do it again and get help psychologically.
And
yeah.
communism
so-
should work, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's just not the way the world works. It's really
Okay,
not
I
worth our
know.
time to
I'm
discuss.
so sorry for wishful thinking that Destiny could be like a good person, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My bad.
So it just feels like if when Pixie wasn't suing, he didn't say anything and didn't take any responsibility. He did not speak about it.
I think that was for both parties were trying to do something there. As far as I know.
but the world
I don't
didn't
know
come
that
down.
to be
The
true.
world didn't come down on him. His career didn't end. He was able to basically ignore it, and it
Let
kind
me
of went
ask
away
you,
for a
how
while.
do you I personally I don't think Pixie wanted this to go down like this. I think Sunday forced
think
her
that-
hand.
I think we're changing the subject a little
Nope.
here, Dan. I thought you
I'm-
just
I'm-
said that if you were silent and just said, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about it," that
What?
the world would end. But he just did that for a month, and basically everybody kind of moved on.
No,
I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure.
that happened.
Yeah, I don't know why you're just saying shit and you say it with this voice, so as if it's to be believed as a fact when it's just
Yes.
bullshit. Yeah, it's not.
Okay. How are people not moving on?
I think
for
what
the
was
last
happening
month?
in the background was that Pixie was getting.
I'm not talking
a-
about in the background. I'm talking about the public.
See, I
perception,
give a
which-
shit about the fucking victim here. I don't give a
Oh
shit
my
about.
God.
Dude, you weren't
you guys
talking
are
about
saying-
the victim when you said the world's going to come crashing down on him. I thought you meant he was going to face public repercussions if he didn't defend himself. Is that not what you meant?
Sorry, where are we going?
I'm
with
sorry
this now?
too.
Yeah, I know you are. You're trying to like basically push this thing into a specific vision that you have of where this is, where it comes
Dude,
down
I'm
to.
just clarifying. What you just
Oh,
said.
gotcha.
You said that if Destiny did not
If he gave
lash-
this answer that you did, yes, which is
and,
like
th-
the,
and then no, then you said if he didn't say anything, that the world would come crashing down on him.
if he gave an answer like you did.
No,
yeah,
you
it would
said
be
if he didn't
constant
say anything.
speculation.
You said if he didn't say anything, the world would come
Yes.
crashing down on him.
Yeah,
just said that.
after. Okay,
Okay, now when you're
you want me
referring
to
to
answer
the
now, or
world,
do you? No. Fuck that. I get to
when you're
respond
referring
this
to the
bullshit.
world, are
No,
you
no,
referring
I
to?
Oh, hang on a minute. Guess I have to turn off my camera this way. So when I was listening to that, when I paused, I didn't know that disabling my camera from there would turn off my chat. So my bad. I think that Dan's doing a terrible job at tracking this conversation, and when Mr. Girl interjected on him, I was saying the same things in the other room. Mr. Girl was saying to him, he's not. I like Dan a lot. He's usually really funny and smart, and I think pretty reasonable too. I mostly like him because he stirs up shit with Destiny, and it makes me laugh. But Dan's not being very smart or funny right now, so it's kind of bumming me out. This should be a pretty good argument between them. I hope he gets better, because I think Mr. was getting him exactly how he's getting him in that Mr. Girl way, and Dan's just not responding in any way that's effective. He's fallen right into everything that would be a trap for him.
I can actually
Are you
talk
referring
over
to
you at this time.
Pixie
It's quite easy.
or his-
Just
or
put my
Can we-
headphones up on my
can we let
phone so I
Dan
don't
go this
hear you
time?
when I'm speaking.
I've taken
And
your
it's
To
like a
go
couple
where?
minutes.
He's
Let-
not.
let
He's
Dan
not,
go.
I can
not
just
saying
talk
anything.
through
Just
two
let him
dudes
yap.
talking over each other. It works out fine, actually.
It works out fine for you because this
so
is your goal.
basically,
You don't want us to
the way
get
it
anywhere.
is because this whole accusation is now public now, right? It would have been for Destiny to say nothing would be
A
a
month ago.
situation
A month
similar
ago?
to what happened with Virgil Texas back in the day. And with
A month
Virgil
ago?
Texas back in the day, what happened was
This all
he
became
got
public
accused
a month
of
ago.
having some shit happening, and he did nothing. He said nothing. He did nothing.
Yes, I know
and
what
as a
you're
result
saying.
of that, it fucking
understand what
destroyed
you're
everything
saying.
from him. So it's
Yes.
required that he
I
actually
got
comes
it.
out and he says something, and he's trying to
hear you.
walk the line between
Destiny
giving
has
a legal
created a
response at the
situation-
guise of his attorney, and he's also trying to walk the line of appeasing the community, and he's also trying to walk the line of maybe doing right by Pixie. I would fucking hope.
I totally
And that's
get
the
it.
problem.
I get everything.
And it's
I
not
get
like
everything he's
Mr.
doing.
Girl, who's being mean to Shaylin and doesn't have the answer to fucking anyone. He can just like go and do crazy shit and not have to answer anyone except
Also,
fucking,
you're
like,
poor.
30
Also, you've
psychopaths
never
or
made
something in
anything
there.
for yourself.
That's the difference in this situation is he has a huge presence online and he
Yes.
has to fucking do something.
I totally
Okay?
get it.
That's
but
it.
What I'm confused about, Dan, is that
Okay.
you said that if he didn't do anything,
If he said
that
nothing.
the world would come. If he said nothing, the
Yes.
world would come crashing down. But that's what
If
he
he
did a
gave
month
no res-
ago.
He
But
didn't.
He didn't give a
no,
response a month ago, and nothing happened.
I believe a month ago, what was happening is that Pixie was trying to get attorneys to probably
Freud.
sue Steve.
Freud.
Okay,
Again, I'm
stop.
talking about the public perception of Destiny. Took a hit a month ago, and then basically nothing happened.
See, this is where
publicly.
we're getting to the issue right now. Thank you. You care about the public perception. I care about Pixie getting justice. That's the
That's
difference.
great.
Yeah. See,
that's the
where
difference
we've
between
come.
you
we've
and
come
me
down.
is that you care
It
about
is.
Pixie and I don't.
There we go.
And that said, that still doesn't really answer the question of how what you just said doesn't make any sense. Because you said that if Destiny was silent, that everything would come crashing down. But he dealt with this with silence in this case, and he's done this before. He just isn't saying anything. and Destiny's.
This is an amazing thing where you're like, yes, that's true, and now I'm just going to keep talking and say the same thing again. This is
Destiny's
amazing.
strategy for handling these.
What? I don't give a fuck about Destiny's strategy.
So,
I give a fuck about.
I
Can I
about
finish?
Can
I was
Pixie
trying to
having
finish
the
this
No, no, no.
sentence
best
without
I actually
changing
just want
the
to go
subject.
next because I know where you're going, Max. Right, I'm pretty sure I know where you're going. So I'm just
Okay,
going
so
to respond to this and say,
I want to go where I'm going.
well,
and
okay, I need
there's
to
two-
respond to
there's
what you
two
said
versions
before,
of this
not what you're
conver-
currently
there's two
saying. I need to
versions of
respond to
this
what you said before
conversation.
because I don't think it was
Dan's
handled
retarded.
correctly.
He needs to
There's
And
be
I just want to throw out right now
I
that
don't want
the
you to-
public
I
response
don't-
of Destiny
I
of just
don't
being silent.
care
I need to
about
explain
what you're
this to
saying.
you
I
because
want
you're not
you to
listening.
shut up.
You're not listening.
I
Dan's
want
not
you to
listening.
let-
That's fine.
I want
have
you
to
to let
turn you
me
down because
finish what
I'm
I'm
not as good at
saying.
Dan at talking.
I want you to let me
I need
finish
to
what I'm saying.
talk. No,
You don't.
no, I don't
You
want to let you
actually
finish
don't.
what you're saying. I just
And I don't
that's
wanna let
actually
you finish what
I
you're
want to
saying.
silence you.
Then do
Max,
it.
are you a victim? Because I'm about to silence you. Okay, please
Do it.
stop.
Silence me.
I'm not actually doing it. I just wanted to
Great,
say
then-
that the public perception, the public response makes sense,
I don't
and it is probably
care about
following
what
Pixie's
you're saying,
wishes.
and I don't want to listen to what you're saying.
do you think Destiny was following Pixie's wishes?
It doesn't matter.
because
it
he
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
care
It doesn't
about
matter.
Two versions of,
He
there's
cares
two
about
versions of this
Mr. Girl's
there's two
outcome.
versions of this conversation. There's one where I incessantly point out that Dan isn't responding to the last thing I said, and I will do this over and
True.
over and over and over again.
You can't just
And
say
he'll
I'm not responding when I
you-
do. This is such
Okay.
this is a
I can't-
basic
I-
bitch debate tactic. You got to back that up with receipts. Let's
You gotta
go.
let him finish.
What am I not
Okay.
responding to?
You're not
you think I'm
responding
new
to the,
around
you're not
here?
responding
Let's
to the
go.
logical.
I think a lot of arguments with Mr. Girl could be avoided if you let him finish.
Tell me what I'm not
contradiction.
responding to.
The
Let's
logical
go.
the logical
The logical contradiction. Ah,
of-
well, you're not responding to the logical fallacy. You see how stupid
And
this
then
fucking sounds?
and then yes, I do. And
Yeah,
then
good.
the other version of the conversation is where we get through this and we can actually talk about what's happening.
No, the other version of this is where you can somehow find a way to make it about yourself and your vendetta that you have against Steve, instead of having it be about Pixie.
I still haven't heard him
Yes,
do that.
please,
so
Lab.
I'm
If Dan has a good argument, he should be making good arguments against what Mr. Girl's saying, and he shouldn't be ad homing him.
waiting for that to happen. Maybe
Yeah,
you
there's
should
a long
let him
set-
do
there's a
that
long
so that
setup
you are
with Mr.
proven
Girl. It
right.
takes a
You
while.
should
Yeah,
let him do
let
that.
me get to the part where it's about my vendetta and then
Well,
then
no,
you'll
that's
be
the whole
proven right.
reason is I'm not trying to do that because I don't want Pixie being tied to someone who's best known online
Okay,
for being
Dan,
a
it's just,
fucking
this is like a
pedophile.
this is total cap, Dan. This
He's
is like
actually
total
best known
bullshit
for being my
excuse.
dad.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
that's
it-
true. Well,
Mr.
that's
Girl
there's some
talking about
overlap
something isn't
there,
gonna.
but-
It's not gonna
Also,
tie him.
I think Pixie would have to
Basically.
embrace this for it to be tied to her. I don't think somebody
Yeah,
else.
right.
Bro.
Okay, I mean,
no
if
offense,
you-
but like
if
a
you-
random
if you have
meth addict on
someone
the
that's
side of
your
the road
champion,
rambling
if
about
you want
Pixie's
Mr. Girl as
allegations
your
is getting
champion,
tied to her.
Okay. I feel like there's definitely people that got absolutely fucked because of the way that Mr. Girl
Because it was
did the last
he
time.
posted it. I mean, that's a bit more of an argument there, right, Dan? He posted it. He wrote it. This is just someone talking on stream about allegations Pixie made.
Yeah, if you really cared about victims, Dan, you would have written a report about Destiny about Pixie.
Nah, that doesn't work too well. Like, I care about like people being indentured slaves, but I still buy Nike shoes, right? Like, there's a level of like
Dan's
how
kinda
much
getting lit
like
up.
Okay,
culpability
so
that
your
everyone has.
problem is that Max
You
cares
knew
too much.
too. You knew. Why didn't you do more? Why didn't you literally like every day go do something? Why didn't you do it?
Do what?
Yeah, exactly. Do what? Do what? You
no,
knew
you
something.
can-
You
you
knew.
I don't care that much about this. You seem
Oh,
to really
so
care
you
about
don't.
it.
I got
No,
you.
I don't care that much
Why
about
do you
this.
care so much? Perfect. I love this. That's
Yeah, I
that's
think we
good
could
one.
if we just talk through the response Destiny gave here, and we just started getting through that a bit more.
I
Right,
think that's a
Dan?
good idea.
I love that, Cleveland.
Okay.
Thank you,
I think
babe.
let's get back to that.
Okay. So, I think we can all imagine the reasons that Destiny believes he has to respond this way, but I think we should probably exclude that from any evaluation of whether it is a moral or good response or what kind of response it is or what he's really saying. Like, when someone does something that we think is bad and they, let's say Andrew Tate, when Andrew Tate says, "Oh, she's a liar. Oh, they're all liars. The Matrix is out to get me." It's not really a sufficient it's not really an analysis of his statements to say why he's saying that. Like, we know why he's saying it. He doesn't want to go to fucking jail for the rest of his life, and he doesn't want to lose all of his money, and he doesn't want to lose all of his fans and all of his power. We know that. So I don't think we need to keep pointing out why Destiny is saying what he's saying. What I'm interested in doing is is analyzing what he's saying. Because I think
object to that. I think it's
it's
a really poor comparison. We don't have a lot of examples of Andrew Tate going like behind closed doors and trying to offer to make this person whole in some way. Like, and we can argue about why that was happening too. But I'm saying that
the comparison is
you're
not
you're
that
comparing to
Destiny's-
somebody that's not really a fair comparison. So I just want to correct that. I do think you're correct that we don't have to analyze why he's making those decisions, right? We can
It's
analyze
not,
whether or
the
not it's moral
comparison
in a
is not
vacuum.
that Destiny is like Andrew Tate. The comparison is that
I know.
when you
I know. I can understand.
when you're in a
mechanism that
position
it's not an important
to
thing to you.
well, I just don't think this is a. I think this is a little disingenuous, because the analogy is not saying that Destiny is as bad as Andrew Tate. I'm not saying he's a sex trafficker.
I know.
I'm saying that when
But
Andrew
it's
Tate,
confusing for the people watching, and that's usually what I'm thinking about. So I'm just
Okay,
glad-
so why
don't
don't you get him to clarify for your audience if you know what they're gonna think?
I didn't hear what that you just said.
He did clarify. He did
I-
clarify.
I didn't really like JSTLK interjecting with that at first, but that makes sense. Like, I can accept that in good faith. It's for the audience.
Okay, then we should go back to going over
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure Max understood why I made the
because
correction.
Dan has done a very good job at derailing from that. But yeah, that was what
unfortunately this is
originally
just
was
every
happening.
convo with Max, and I'm fine with it. But I'm just like I do have to.
Yeah,
actually
it's
object when I
it's
hear
Max's
some weird
fault.
framing
It's
that I don't
Max's
like.
fault.
I mean, this
I don't think it's
conversation
bad.
was much more on the rails and leading to
I don't think it's bad.
specific
I'm not
conclusion
judging it.
prior
I'm
to the
saying that
joining.
this tends to be the way that combos with Max go, and that's fine. I'm fine with it.
okay, so I want to be clear. The leak
Thank you.
happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. When he says the leak happened, isn't he defining the leak as the second party, the 19-year-old girl disseminating the pornographic imagery, but not himself?
I think he would be referring to a public leak. Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah,
Not a
that would-
private
that-
leak. That's
But-
pretty
Yeah,
fucking
so he's
obvious.
not referring
Yes.
to the leak that Pixie would be referring to.
Right. So that's kind of odd that in response, I mean, not odd, but slimy, that in
No,
response,
it's kind of what you'd expect to have happen when you've been like said that a lawsuit's coming your way. But that's fine. Keep going.
well, if the lawsuit is about Destiny leaking pornographic material, then when he says the leak, you would think that he'd be referring
So-
to the same leak that the lawsuit is alleging, but he
It's-
doesn't bring that up at all.
Is the lawsuit not alleging a publication? It's making it public? I'm pretty sure it is.
The lawsuit is alleging that Destiny non-consensually shared her news or leaked in.
I believe the specific statute
vernacular.
refers to a public dissemination, does it not?
This what statute? We're talking about the lawsuit.
The one inside of the Substack.
One inside of the Substack.
It would
I
depend
actually
on.
don't know how much it matters if his actions of like gross negligence directly caused those nudes to be leaked. I wonder if that's like 1-to-1 as far as the law is concerned. Because I would say that that's an extremely high level of negligence, where there is an inherent understanding that whether or not this is leaked is no longer up to you, and you are accommodating for full leaks of everything that you send to somebody else. Pardon. It seems like
What
it should
public
be.
dissemination means, and I don't know that you could.
Well, I don't know.
Does that
Are any of you guys
mean-
confused
there's
about
no
what
legal
Pixie is suing him for? Do you think she's suing him for what someone else did or what he did?
Civil action relating to the disclosure of intimate images and for publication of private facts in Florida is what she's specifically looking for, at least according to her Substack.
Do you think that she's suing him for him leaking her nudes or pornographic material?
It actually might be the case that the lawsuit and pending maybe criminal charges from Cherry might actually set a precedent because of the like specific convoluted things that are involved in it.
Or do you think that she's suing him?
I don't know if we've seen a lawsuit like this, since revenge porn lawsuits are relatively new.
For someone else doing it?
I believe she is suing him for doing this. That is what she stated in her Substack.
So what I find disingenuous is that when
yeah.
he says the leak happened, he's using passive language. He's not saying I leaked it. He's saying the leak happened, as though the leak happened without my knowledge. So he's clearly not referring to the same leak that everyone's talking about. When we're all saying Destiny leaked Pixie's pornographic material, he's reframing it as something that happened to him without his knowledge, without his consent, without his authorization.
I'm responding directly to the statement that you were responding to in regards to Dan about specific legal language of regarding
don't
his
remember.
response to it.
I don't
Dan was saying if you are responding to this as in a legal manner, you would respond to the legal allegations. The legal allegations, as I've read this, as a totally not read legal person, like I'm a civilian, have no legal experience. It's referring to the publication of materials.
Okay. So would you say this sentence is not accurate?
I would say
no. I'm going to say the sentence. I'm going to say the
Well,
sentence.
I already- you already
you're
read
going to
that
say.
sentence.
I know you're going to say you don't like
I'm
it.
gonna,
but
so
let
I'm
me
gonna
say it before you
because
respond.
I don't
before you
care about
respond,
this weird
let me
narrative
just-
control that you.
Love
that
it.
you
I'm
do.
actually.
I
I'm gonna have
want
to
you to-
mute and
I-
talk to everybody else. I just have to. I literally have to tell you guys right now that the accusation in the article is that he used a proxy to disseminate this material while claiming deniability. And so the
Okay.
her actual accusation is probably not what happened. And I think we can almost all agree that that's probably not what happened. But go ahead.
In the public
Yeah.
consciousness, the thing that Destiny has to address is that.
Okay,
and
but
it's
you have
just
to
true or
admit that you
false
just
for
changed
this.
your position. You're changing
Well,
your
I'm not
position.
changing my-
So you were arguing
I'm
that he
not
wasn't
changing- I'm
materially
asking a question. I'm
responding to
asking
the
you a
allegation.
question.
And
I'm asking you a
Okay, go
question.
ahead.
Okay. Here's the question. It's true or false. In the public consciousnness, Pixie is suing Destiny for leaking her nudes. True or false?
Are you talking about legally or like for a layman?
We're just
In the
confounding.
public
yeah, we're just
consciousness,
intentionally
in the
confounding.
For a
public-
layman, yes. For a layman, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And is this Destiny's response? Is this aimed at lay people or the court?
I think
I
it's
would
trying to
assume
do
it's-
both with the court.
Yeah, I would assume
not
it's doing
putting
both.
himself in court as a primary objective. Yes.
Yeah, threading a needle
So,
for sure.
Lauren has had a negative sentiment toward me after I rejected her romantic advances earlier in the year. This is a statement that Destiny wants to be read in court.
That's a
No,
statement that
it's
is wild
a
to put in
public
your
statement.
shit.
It is a public statement that is meant to address the public while also simultaneously not fucking him over in court. So it's meant to have the court be in mind while also making a public statement. I can just skip to the end here because it's actually very upsetting what you're doing. Let me actually address the point that I feel like you're trying to make and should be made. So when he's referring to these leaks, what he's doing is he's saying, oh, these leaks, they were not made by me. I didn't make these things public, when in reality, that is technically true on a technicality. However, he leaked them to another person who he had no reasonable expectation of privacy with, and that was something that is wrong. So he's very specifically trying to say, well, I didn't leak it publicly, but he should have known better, and he's leaving that part out. And that's important. We all agree that is bad. That is shifting the narrative. I just did your job for you, that you're taking a year, because you're taking a year and a half to do something that takes 2 seconds. And that's why I agree. He's very...
I don't.
To be
I don't
clear, I
understand
thought he
why-
really obviously said that in his first sentence, but maybe it was just
No,
audio.
the problem is no, because he's going back and forth with Dan when Dan is making a point specifically about how Destiny is framing this in a legal manner, and then he's trying to.
Now Dan keeps trying to wiggle out of responding to Mr. Grill, and he was answering adjacent questions instead of answering what Mr. Grill said.
Wrestle around with that. It's very simple. He's speaking in legalese that also can be portrayed to the public, and he's simultaneously shifting the narrative so that way it doesn't look like he did any type of a sharing or leaking of any kind. When in reality, he did share it with another person who he was not. It is not reasonable to expect privacy from.
I don't think this is legalese. Again, I'm going to read the sentence again. I want to be clear.
Oh my god!
It's because you don't know that much about law.
Why would you even bring that up?
So
If
Can we,
this is
I just
supposed
need to
be-
get to Max's core criticism. Are you mad that he's hiding the actual moral criticism that's being made of him with this statement? Is that what you're upset about?
All right, I'll have to pick it up again more tomorrow. It's almost 3:00. I have I'll keep going each night. Probably till like 3-ish. But I gotta work still. But I don't work. I have like a this is my last week of training. And so during training, I have Fridays and Saturdays off. And then off of training, I have Mondays and Tuesdays off. So I'll have Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday off. So I'll have like almost 4 days in a row. I'll have 2 days off, 1 day on, 2 days off. And hopefully I'll be able to, there'll be even more information to be able to do like a full, like, 4 or 5 hours, just like cover a bunch of stuff all at once thing. Then tomorrow, though, before I come back to the kick stream, I want to go over the tweet that had the conversation between Mr. Girl and Erudite in it. I really like Not So Erudite. She's always been really respectful and kind to me during like a lot of different things. There's things that have been happened like behind the scenes that I know about and had interactions with her behind the scenes that she's gotten a lot of respect from me for, and I can't tell. Well, one, I don't know exactly how much she's distancing herself from Destiny, and I don't have as much information as I'd like to have to be able to tell if the distancing is due to new information that she's gotten, or if it's just damage control. If it's on the damage control side, I have like obviously I do have some empathy for her for sure. Where like she just moved to America, went through all kinds of bullshit to get to America, and like working with him is like literally her job. It's how she's paying the bills, and even if she knows some like bad things about like her boss, I don't know if she could just outright quit her job and expect to maintain living where she's living. So I give some credibility there, but I want to get more information about how much she's distancing herself, and sort of the explanation why. I thought that was very interesting. I think that there's right now it's like a real reckoning in the Destiny, not just Orbiter community, but like the DGG environment, where people kind of have to decide. Like, I think people have to decide what they're okay with. I think that I think the sweeping just needs to stop outright. I think that people need to either say this is unacceptable and I'm washing my hands of it, or they need to say something like either yeah, I understand this is bad, however, ... and so I'm going to stand by Destiny regardless, or they need to say I don't think that this is that bad, and therefore obviously I'm going to stand by Destiny. Something like that. I think that right now, if you're fence sitting, trying to see how this plays out, I think it's going to end up being like really bad for you. I think it's going to be the kind of thing that follows you a lot, and people are going to weaponize it a lot. Like I feel like if you're fence sitting, like, and somehow Destiny ends up looking really good about from this, I think that the people that stuck by him are just going to see you. Like, I think they're not going to have like a space in the DGG space anymore. And I think that if Destiny, if the DGG space just collapses, you're gonna have a hard time rooting your way into other communities if you were fence sitting as well. I think that it's a big thing. Oh, unrelated events. But do you have any advice for ladder anxiety in arena? Oh, no, you're good. Thanks for asking, Froggy. So if you're trying to climb in ranked, and you're not climbing, so I think the best piece of advice that works for me, and I don't know if this translates because I do get that too. I really like to say to switch to another format. Another good thing to do is, and this only goes so far. Like if you're losing quite a bit in ranked, or like if you were climbing a bit and then you face some losses. I know one of the things that like helps me keep steam is I go and look up lists that are similar to mine. and I try to see if the decks that are beating me a lot have any counterplays in the lists that are similar to mine. So like if I'll take like the archetype, if I'm playing what was I playing in standard for a minute there? Let's just say I'm playing like red white like enchantment mice. If I'm playing that and I see that somebody's and like I keep losing to discard, and I see some white card that's getting played that like I'm like, why would you play that? And then I noticed that like this card would have like a really good counterplay to the discard decks, then I'm probably gonna try that out. So keeping things trying to keep things a little bit fresher with your deck so that it stays more fun to play even when you are losing is good, but also trying to understand how other players are succeeding with a deck if you're having a hard time with it because of like what's there in the meta. But I also think that sometimes you just hit losing streaks and that can be tough, and you don't always want to change your deck, so it's especially once you're really familiar with it. I would say that there's a consistency you can get by getting really familiar with piloting your deck that makes it scary to change things, because then there might be a couple little interactions that you're not going to foresee, especially if you run into like new situations on the opponent's side. You're not going to have as much prior knowledge of your cards and how they're going to interact really well. However, I think there's a point past that when you're so good with your deck that changing it should change very little. And everything every time the new cards come into play, you're going to be only thinking about those things because everything else in the deck is like autopilot. But it can certainly be tough. Like I plateaued out in like diamond right now. I think switching format helps a lot. Because even if you're like kind of like dropping down the ladder a bit while you're switching the format, having the new format, having something else to learn, I just think makes the losses feel a lot easier to take. If you don't have this big of a collection, I highly recommend playing some games in Brawl. Like you don't have to, like there's no ranked for it. So it just lets you play around and have fun. And then you'll see other cards that maybe that might. I think playing Brawl is a really good way to seeing different cards that you're not normally going to run into, and it might give you ideas for your current deck, or might give you ideas for another deck that you just want to play instead of like, oh, that'd be really cool in standard. But I think that I guess all of the advice really comes down to getting the creative part of your brain more engaged in the game, rather than just like the competitive. I want to grind. Yeah, I want to climb. I want to climb. Climbing is easier when you're engaging the creative part of your brain in Magic for sure. When you're when you're excited about what you're learning while you play, I think it just it makes those losses feel like learning experiences. Try switching up. I've been trying to force my mono white mice to work for a while. If you can get the cards for red to like splash in red, I highly recommend. They're really good. Actually, Wick got diamond. Wick picked up the game a little while ago, and he like soared to diamond. I'll shoot you Wick's list. It's a red white mice list. I was shocked because when I first saw, I saw the Calicel sword, which does the fling, and I just thought it was blue black fling, or red black fling. Well, it is then, no problem. Also, I don't know if I said this on here or not, but myself, Wick, a couple other creators, and one of his moderators, we're going to be soon. We already have, I don't know if they put up the channel yet or not, but we've organized a bunch of stuff for a Magic channel. I'm probably going to be doing like a lot of draft videos and like challenge brews. So like if somebody's like make a deck with like these limitations, I'll probably do that because I'm pretty good at that stuff. I'm pretty good at like whipping up decks that are like good enough. Or like or like in the same vein as like a Saffron Olive, like against the odds kind of decks. And then other people on here have other stuff planned, but we're gonna be putting out Magic content on that channel. Once the channel gets up, I'll say what the channel name is. But I'm looking forward to doing that because I can record content offline, and it doesn't necessarily have to be live. And we can have a lot of fun with that. Made the white mice deck because I felt like everyone plays the red mice, nobody plays the white mice, and I wanted to give them a shot. That's fair. I like I'm a big fan of the 1-drop mouse that gives all your creatures, or gives all mice +1/+0. As one's pretty good. So one thing for sure, Magic has two very different avenues to take. One of them is the casual and like extremely creative variant. If you play casually, I feel like it's you can't invest a lot of heart into whether you win or lose. If you play competitive, there's room for creativity always, but you have to accept what can win at the competitive level, because people have put a ton of people put a lot of time and energy focusing on these metas, and I would certainly say test ideas always, test original brews always, but those should be done in play and not ranked as much unless you're getting crazy results. But if you, I generally say pick a meta deck and then put your own twist on it. There's always going to be some, not always, but very rarely is the entire 60 card list going to be iron tight to where there's no room for flexibility and put your own twist on it. Some of my best performing decks have been, almost all of them, save for like one brew that I did super good at a competitive event with. That's going to be the way that you express your creativity in competitive Magic. Usually is finding those flex spots in the deck, finding the flex slots in the deck, and putting in something that you come up with there. Especially since the meta is always shifting and all that, there's always room to find better cards to fit into those spots to respond to the changing meta. So I hope that helps. And if you ever see me on, I play Magic quite a bit. Like a little bit before work, sometimes at work. Or when I get home, I always try to get my dailies and stuff done. Shoot me a shoot me a challenge, and I'll whip up something to play, like a creative brew to play. Maybe that's my problem. I like playing creative jank. Same was back in Hearthstone. Brawl is great for creative jank. I think that's where like that stuff really shines, because the 100 card format, you have it is literally unlimited creativity, but also like you can end up winning just by like having the right pieces before your opponents get theirs, and that feels really good and rewarding. But yeah, I've definitely tried taking some home brews to competitive events, and almost always I get spanked for it, but I still have fun because I know what to expect when I'm going in there. I'm just like, I wonder how well this would do at like I would say that FNM is still competitive too. All the places that I go and play Magic, FNM's pretty competitive. Because most people are grinding like all the FNMs they can find to like play in bigger events, or like FNM like styled events. At least, obviously, you can't go to more than one FNM. There's only one Friday, but yeah. Hopefully that helps. Also, one of the people that are part of the Magic channel that we're working on is gonna hopefully on these 4 days that I have off coming up. We just talked about it the other night. He's gonna come and do the Foundations review with me, and then probably gonna have him take a look at Aether Drift as well with me while we're there. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. I love talking about Magic, which also is a big reason why I want to do this other channel too, because it always feels a little weird to talk about Magic on my channel. It's still my channel, so I'm gonna do it, especially if somebody prompts me. I'm gonna talk about Magic, but it's cool to have a space that I know is like designed for that too. But all right, yeah, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow night. Trying to get cards to play Commander at your local game store. Shoot me a message, tell me what you're trying to build, and I will be so happy to give you advice about like cheap cards and stuff to go for like whatever you're trying to build. I really like the Esper Door deck from Duskmourn. I was really strapped for cash and I bought that thing. I love it. It's such a cool that both commanders for it are so cool. Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out for like deck advice and stuff. I've had some people from like Mr. Grill community too reach out to me about deck advice. But yeah,